I'm Christine Knox, I'm the manager of Wokingham Volunteer Centre, and we run the Wokingham Community Transport Scheme. I'm also a member of the Wokingham Transport Forum, which is a kind of loose affiliation of the 5 community transport schemes that operate in the borough, and also the 4 community minibus schemes.
Hi, I'm Roger Kemp. I'm a volunteer driver, and I've been volunteer driving for about 7 years now, and I do 2 or 3 drives a week.
In the last year alone, they were responsible for helping out with 20,000 trips to the Royal Berkshire Hospital.
My name is Anthony Temple. I'm known to all my friends and relations as Tony. I have had occasion to use the volunteer driving setup, which I find extremely useful, not only to save me the trouble of having to try and find a parking spot at Royal Berkshire Hospital, but it gives me company on the journey.
How it works, they all work slightly differently, but basically our clients phone in. We have a team of transport desk volunteers, of whom Claire is our lady today, who is on the desk.
They're a godsend to me. I don't know where I would have been. It makes people independent, because you see, I've always been an independent person, and you can't keep bothering people. You know, I mean, it's not right.
We save the NHS huge amounts of money because we provide this low-cost but transport service with caring support. So we actually wait with our clients while they're in the hospital and then take them home again. Because we can offer this service, we have a massive impact on the attendance rates at appointments at the hospital. Obviously, this helps people manage their long-term conditions much more carefully and reduces the number of emergency admissions to the hospital. And of course, the huge cost then of inpatient stays that are required to actually get people back on their feet so they can be safely discharged into the community again. But, and there's always a but, the stress on our volunteer drivers is increasing. It's always been a problem parking at the hospital, but that is a problem that has actually got worse over recent years. So much so that some of our volunteers now cannot manage to actually do this service.
Most of the drivers find the time to actually wait for their customer to return. This, I think, is a particularly good effect and proposition altogether.
One of the main issues is that we can't just drop off our clients. We do actually need to park because most of our service users actually need some degree of assistance to get into the hospital and then in the hospital to find where they need to go and then obviously to leave the premises safely again. So parking is a really big issue for us.
What we've got to do now is take a pass to get in, which allows you out within half an hour. One issue we have with bringing people in if they have mobility problems is having to drop them off, and they then may need a wheelchair, and if they need a wheelchair I've got to find one, but the probability is I can't find anywhere to park my car in the end. Often I'm stuck with having to leave the patient and go and find a wheelchair for them. People say, well, I don't mind doing Finch-Hammersmith surgery, I don't mind going to Bracknell Clinic, I don't want to go to the Royal Berks. Now who loses out? The patient loses out, and we as a taxpayer lose out as well. We're now headed for the front of the hospital. 2 departments that we have most to do with there is the cancer department and the cardiac department. Again, there aren't any car park spaces that we volunteer drivers can use. We can only take the same parking space as everybody else.
When people are trying to park, it is difficult. I mean, it's always, you're lucky if you can get a space near the cancer department at the front of the hospital. I mean, that's nearly always full.
There are areas which are designated for ambulance drop-off, fair enough. But lots of spaces are not allocated for anything. You know, they've got hatches on them. So you could say, right, we'll go around, we'll walk around, and we'll find some places where authorised vehicles can stop for 20 minutes or half an hour. We could probably find a few spaces which could be used for longer than that.
If they were unable to find me a driver, or it didn't exist at all, then I would be stuck with the business of either trying to get there under my own steam, which is not an easy matter, or taking a taxi. Well, a taxi costs £25 each way.
To the right of me now is an entrance to the hospital. As you will see here, all the parking is either for disabled or for ambulances. It would be really, really helpful if somewhere around here there were one or two designated spaces for volunteer drivers.